oftentimes what happens is you fail one time and you go and you into the corner and you suck your thumb. Like, that's not going to get you where you need to go. So I think that a lot of people suggest or intimate or comment that, like, oh, well, it's easy for you to say that from the position you're in, right? Oh, you're successful already, so it's easy for you to suggest take risk or to become an entrepreneur or to, make that decision. And the fact of the matter is, there was a time when I was none of those things. I wasn't successful. In fact, I was an abject failure. I was 19 years old. I left school on a full-time basis. I was in school at night, and I was pursuing my entrepreneurial endeavors. And I ended up getting into business with a bad partner who ended up being a thief and was hugely in debt, tens of thousands of dollars in debt. And I was sneaking past my landlord late at night so that he wouldn't ask me for rent. And a good week for me was like that I had my red beans and rice, which I basically lived on Zatarans, but I got the crescent rolls, right? And still to this day, the sound of the crescent rolls like brings me back to those early days when I was in the early stages of the build. And what I did every single day was I got up and I went to work. And I believed in the vision, I believed in the product, I believed in the marketplace, that those things existed. And I just went at it. And eventually, success begot success. And I didn't focus on the wins as much as I focused on the actions I needed to take in order to get the results that I wanted. So rather than focus on the closed deal, I focused on how many appointments was I setting, how many new opportunities was I creating. And that led to more success, and more success led to greater, posture and more confidence and that swagger we talk about. And ultimately, that led me to where I am today, right? One thing led to another. My success allowed me to become, more attractive to people that wanted to join me in the vision that I had set forth for myself. And so, these people that, talk, and there's a lot of people out there, I think, that are, entrepreneurial. They've got a great idea, but they don't have a way. They don't know how to execute. And I talked last week about jumping in, right? That you've got to make the jump, and that it's hard when you have this bag of responsibility. And I gave you some ways that you can kind of prime the pump to make it a little bit easier. But the fact of the matter is you need to go out there and sell. Like, you need to get out there and get in front of people and show them your value proposition enough times until you get the confidence that you're going to be successful. And oftentimes what happens is you fail one time and you go and you into the corner and you suck your thumb. Like, that's not going to get you where you need to go. And for entrepreneurs and for businesses, you have to have an abundant amount of opportunity, take a massive amount of action, and set yourself up to learn, right? Now, if you're unwilling to do those things, you can, sit back and gripe and whine and talk about how, you're not successful all you want. But ultimately, like, those are the steps that you're going to need to take to get out there. And ultimately, you get to this place where your success does beget success. But, it isn't always pretty, right? And I think a lot of times you think that, day one, you're the guy who's, driving the Lamborghini and, and with all the rewards and the big house and everything else. The fact of the matter is, there's a lot of unspectacular work that goes into that spectacular result that you get down the road. And, it doesn't happen overnight. And, I'll tell you that for me, and I think for a lot of entrepreneurs, the build, the grind, like those days when I was eating ramen noodles, those days when I was eating Zatarans, those are my favorite days of my entire career. Because the small successes that I had, I appreciated so much more. Right, I was able to appreciate it. And I remember the first time I looked down and I saw the Mercedes symbol on my steering wheel, the sense of pride that I had. Now I get into my car and it's like, whatever. Like, because those material things are nothing compared to the build, compared to that journey that you take, and those small wins that allow you to survive another day, that allow you to go out there and continue this pursuit of everything you've ever dreamed of in your business. And that brings the next point, right? Is like you don't ever stay complacent. It's not like you achieve and then you stop, right? You've heard me say a lot of times, and people around me, are kind of mystified by the idea on a scale of 1 to 10 that I always feel like I'm at a 3 or a 4 in terms of my success. And what I find is that every time I get a little too comfortable, I jump off that diving board again into something completely new. And I think that people are constantly trying to decipher, when should I add something? When should I make the adjustment? When should I make the change, right? Do I add a new marketing strategy? Do I add a new technology? Do I add more clients? Like, first rule of business is always add more clients. More clients, more clients, more clients, more clients. Like, take them on. Even if you don't know how to solve their problems, like, take on as many clients as you possibly can, because they're either a learning exercise or an opportunity to continue to sustain yourself until you are more profitable in a better position to deliver what you promise. And not every client is going to be a happy client. They're not all going to leave satisfied. They're all not going to be your raving fans. But if you do a good work enough, you're going to be successful. And the second rule is that you've got to continually try different things. We talked about the accordion, about focusing very narrow and then adding things to the mix. I don't know if your gut instinct is enough, right? I think that you've got to market test. You've got to go out to your existing clients. You've got to go and do market research and identify, is the market ready for this, right? Everyone's talking about VR as the next big thing, that VR is going to be this huge thing. I don't know that society today is ready to be looking at real estate online in a VR headset. I just don't see that as actually being a reality. But I could be wrong, right? And the first person who gets into that market at the right time is going to be right. Sean Parker had this idea that he was going to, curate all of this music and allow people to access it. And, and unfortunately, his idea, his iteration, Napster, right? That was brilliant, but it was before its time, right? Society wasn't yet ready. But you know what? The next person, Spotify, Pandora, all these other ones that came after it, they were able to capitalize. So being first isn't necessarily the best idea. You've got to identify when the market is ready. And sometimes you just got to roll the dice, right? Sometimes as an entrepreneur, you have to go and trust your instincts, and your instincts are going to make you successful beyond your wildest imagination. So listen to the market, listen to your instincts, and most importantly, just work at it every single day. Work tirelessly, and don't think it's going to happen overnight. It's going to take you 10 times more effort than you even imagine, and it's going to be a lot more suffering. And I'll tell you also, the successes are a lot more than you can imagine as well.